What up, gamers? And today I'll be showing you guys the new Fast 9 composition. So on last patch, it was all about AP, but on this patch, it's shifted a little bit, especially the level 9 comps. This seems to be the highest cap level 9 comp. And why is this? It's because of the Kai'Sa buffs and a bunch of other reasons as well that we'll get into in this video. But before we get into it, anytime I learn tech from someone else, I always want to shout them out. So I learned this one from Dish Soap. It's not the very first person to come up with this, but this composition I did learn from Dish Soap's Twitter thread. So if you guys want to give him a follow, if you don't already follow Dish Soap somehow, I'll leave his information in the description of today's video. So with that out of the way, let's get into this. So this board is really strong, and it's because of Kai'Sa buffs. Kai'Sa got buffed, Xayah got buffed, and some of the AP lines just got taken down a little bit from last patch. And also, a lot of the ways to get to this comp are very strong on this patch as well. Like Ghostly is a very easy way to get to this, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So we want to aim for this comp. So why this comp specifically? Why for Dragon Lord? So if you've played a lot of Kai'Sa, you've probably ran into the problem of Kai'Sa needs to have like 2 rotations of her spell to kill the enemy team, but also you want her to have as much damage as possible to kill the enemy team. So it creates a weird problem when you play like level 8 Kai'Sa comps. A lot of people end up building a Spear of Sojin. I think Spear of Sojin is great for tempo in the mid game when you're playing around Senna and that sort of thing, and is a very solid item on Kai'Sa in like the Bruiser variants and the Ghostly variants, because you need to have those 2 cast. But Dragon Lord actually solves this problem. It allows you to build kind of more full damagey style with your Kai'Sa and your Xayah, of course. And so what happens is 8 seconds into the fight, you know, the Dragon Lord puts a pause on the fight, and then your team blows up half their board in that pause. And then after that, you have all that attack speed. And it's basically like Kai'Sa has the Spear of Sojin. So she'll get to her second rotation every single fight, you know, whereas without Dragon Lord or without Sojin, a lot of times she didn't get to her second rotation and the fight's pretty much over. So that's the idea of this comp. That's why it's strong. And then you have a spot to put leftover AP items. So if you end up having to slam AP items as you tempoed, then you can put items onto Azir and that good way, and you'll be good to go. Azir or Udyr, of course. Okay, so how do you actually get here? So you want to look to play this comp whenever you have a strong AD opener playing around, usually either Storyweaver or Ghostly. Those are some of the easiest and cheapest comps that are strong on stage 2, stage 3, and parts of stage 4 that can allow you to go fast 9. I'll give you some examples of those boards. And you want to take an economy augment first. And also, additionally, if you can have an economy augment and you're on one of those portals where there's a lot of extra econ, like gold subscription or loot subscription, something like Crab Rave, then you could definitely look to play something like this for sure, even without an economy augment. But ideally, you want to have an economy augment in one of those portals that juices up your income throughout the game. You can go for a second economy augment, but don't go triple econ. This comp is not that strong that you probably have to go double. You probably have to at least have 1 combat. I think best is probably 1 eco, 2 combat, and you'd be good to go. So let's talk about some early game boards that you guys can play. If you guys just don't know how to play some of these boards, I'll just briefly talk about them. So this Ghostly comp is a really cheap comp. Allows you to slam all the items that you're looking for, allows you to play around Ink Shadow, and you'll be good to go. So if you have like a Ghostly opener with like a Jax 2 or something like that, or Aatrox pair or whatever, then look to play this in the mid game. You can roll for this on level 6, and then from there go 9 on 2 stars, and you can be good to go. One thing that's also really nice about this is if you end up building this and then you don't think that you can go fast 9, well, this naturally just takes you into Kai'Sa Ghostly or Kai'Sa Bruisers. It can be easy to go. So if you don't think you can go 9, you have to settle on level 8, then just, you know, push levels, jam in the other Ghostlies, these ones, and then eventually swap this out for the Kai'Sa. You can do that as well. So I like this if you want to look for the fast 9, because you have that level 8 out if the game just kind of goes sour for you and you don't think you can go fast 9 anymore. So here you go. You can go for this, slam your AD items on Senna. And quickly, let's talk about some of the tattoos for Ink Shadow. So what are some of the best? And this can maybe inform you as an indicator on when to like really look to fast 9 and know that you can win out whenever you get this. Some of the best ones are going to be Toxin and Protection. Protection is just OP. And then Toxin allows you to not have to build a red buff. Red buff, one of the best items on Kai'Sa and trick shots in general, because you can spread it very easily. Helps your damage, helps you cast quicker. So not having to prioritize your bows for that item and like sack to get bows all the time, because it's hard to get a lot of bows, then Tattoo of Toxin allows you to feel like you can win streak and not feel like you need like 80 bows, which you normally can only get if you lost streak. So that can be quite nice there. Here's another common opener and way that you can go fast 9 is obviously Storyweaver. Very strong on stage 2 if you have a Sivir 2 opener with like you know, a Garen 2-star or a Riven drop or something like that. Be very strong on stage 2. And then you could take the attack speed Kayle variant. You can go any Kayle variant you want, really. But if you can build a Last Whisper, you go the attack speed variant, because again, when you get to end game, you're not going to be playing a Kayle on your board. So you end up wanting to build Last Whisper. So you can go for a setup like this, can be very strong. Slam your AD items on Sivir, and then your AP items can go on Zoe or Teemo. Additionally, if you somehow natural a Bard 2, because again, if we're trying to go 9, we don't want to roll. So that's why I don't have Bard here. Somehow natural a Bard 2, you can obviously move the AD items over to Bard. Should be a little bit stronger than Sivir here. And then obviously, yeah, we can put Sivir in the middle here. I mispositioned her a little bit so that you can get the attack speed spread, but you get the idea. And then you can build for this. And again, if you're building like this and you think you can't go 9, then you can settle. This comp takes you so naturally into Kai'Sa bruisers. So you can just, you know, jam the bruises in here, swap this out, and add the 4 trick shots, and then hopefully remake your Sivir as well. So this is another way that you can settle for a level 8 comp if you have to. So that's why this is also very good. Very strong on stage 2, very strong on stage 3, and allows you to settle on level 8. One other comp I'm not going to talk about that is, I think it's just a little bit too high level for a lot of people, is like if you're playing around Dragon Lord and playing around Janna, I just don't think there's AD item holders. Now you can do some weird AD Janna tech. She gains a lot of attack speed and stuff like that, but I just don't want to put that in here. I think that's more of a high level play, and I'd be remiss if, or yeah, I just don't want to mislead anybody. I think it's a little bit more high level play, and if you're a high level player, then you can know how to pull off something like that. So I don't need to explain it here. But anyways, guys, just looking back at this is the composition here, and remember, in synopsis, just take an econ augment first. Hopefully you're playing on a portal. We have gold subscription, loot subscription, or if you guys just really like playing Fast 9, you really like playing for first every game, then you can look to do this whenever you have a stronger opener or anything like that. One composition I didn't talk about actually real quick is Fortune. So again, if you're playing around a Story Weaver, it's very easy to play Fortune. So if you end up winning a lot of stage 2, and you're chilling, and then you have your Koboko, and you get dropped the Zoe, you can just be like, okay, I'm gonna play Fortune for the mid game, develop this big cash out, go 9, because you know that you can win out with the level 9 comp. And definitely, if you have Fortune, you have extra income, extra item economy. Then if you win streak on stage 2 and you go for Fortune on stage 3, stage 4, you can, if you hit this board, you would definitely win out, especially if you can like 2-star the Xayah, 2-star the Kai'Sa, and have your frontline mostly upgraded. Then you should be able to win out if you hit this comp on, you know, on 4-5 or you know, by the latest 5-1, you should be good to go. So you can obviously do the Fortune tech as well. But anyways, guys, this is the composition here. Good luck climbing and good luck fast 9ing. Follow my stream. I'll see you on the next one.